Hey guys, it's Megan. I am back again with another plan with me. This is for the week of January 13th through the 19th. This is kind of a special week for me. It was my birthday. The 16th was my birthday. Yeah, I am using this kit. I think it's called Stargazer from Glam Planner, and it came with a bunch of foil to do over it. I'm not crazy with the way that this turned out. I realized as I was going through that I didn't actually have glitter headers with this one. So I'm using these glitter headers are actually from Scribble Prints Co. And it works out, I think, just fine. And mostly because I didn't use the chunky glitter strip that would usually go down here. So it just is now, like, it doesn't really tell, you can't really tell that there's two different glitters, except for over here. This is a bigger chunky glitter, and there just wasn't enough stuff to like fill into this bottom space, but I wanted to make sure that was covered. And I did a little bit something different here. Instead of actually putting down some kind of like tracker, like I usually do, like a checkbox over here now, I just used some of the little dots from each of the these are part of the deco in the kit. And I had this done, this RWL. I haven't completely, I haven't zoomed in yet because I'll do that when I start planning. So this RWL, this is for what I'm reading, what I'm watching, and what I'm listening to. So these are the books that I have been reading. And these are the shows I'm watching: Suits and Parks and Rec, and then Witch Bitch Amateur Hour and Imagine Life. I actually didn't listen to any Imagine Life this week. It's been a lot of the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour. As I'm studying witchcraft, I found that to be like a really good to help you, kind of a really good podcast to kind of find your footing in the world. So yeah, that's the only thing that I wasn't loving really, was my sidebar. For the rest of it, I actually really like it. It is a mixture of rose gold and silver, so actually very similar to the week before, had the same thing. Of the mixed metals. I forgot to put down glitter headers over here. I might do it later, I might not. I haven't decided yet. So yeah, I was trying to make this so I didn't have to do a lot of editing this week. I actually have this this little 2020 planner here. I got this in a FabFitFun box, and this is from Papershire. So I was like, actually, this is perfect. I can keep notes of everything that I am doing. So I have this planner that I got in my FabFitFun box, and it's a 2020 planner. And I thought this would be absolutely perfect just to keep notes of what I've been doing, because I am like a back planner. So this week, as a way to hopefully keep this shorter and whatnot, I, of course, had all my notes in here, but then I also took, I think this was a bag. Yeah, I think this is like a little cello bag that I'd gotten in, like, that one of the orders that I have came in. And I cut out a couple of pages from my sticker books. And so I've got them organized. In this way, every night or every few nights, I can go in and pick all the stickers instead of like doing it all at once, because that makes it just seem like it takes forever. And while I love to sit down and do this, I don't want to be doing it for like an hour and a half or longer. So I figured, you know what, let's just figure out a way to do this, and I'm putting it together during the week so that when I get to Sunday night and I'm ready to start filming, it is all set. So I'm just going to turn this to the page I need it to be, and I always prop this up somewhere near me so I can remember everything. And yeah, so like I just showed you, this is all this like characters and icons and such that I'm going to be using. And then it's the Stargazer kit, like I said. So I have those stickers, and let's see, I'm just trying to find all the extra things that I pulled out that I may or may not use. I've got these Harriet Wright designs. I've picked up the golden rose gold, these little foiled flags, I just did the rose gold, I think, of these little confetti dots. And then I picked up a couple of the Clever Gal crafts. I'm thinking think this color I think matches, and I might even pull in a bit of this because I think it kind of matches this like burnt orangey browny color in here. And then if I want some little flourishes, I've got these little dividers from the Prairie Planner that I also just grabbed. So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, so as I had mentioned, this was my birthday week, and I'm actually going to probably make a little bit of noise here because I want to move my microphone more in front of me so I don't have to turn to it. So yeah, it was my birthday week, January 16th. I turned 33, which I think after 30, like I went pretty big for my 30th birthday, and like I celebrated all year long and got myself a gift every month of the year. And one of those was going to Mexico with my friends for a week. And but like after 30, it all just kind of feels the same. Like 33 doesn't feel any different than anything else. I feel like when I was in my 20s, I was having like an existential crisis every year that I aged up. It's that idea that you haven't you know, you haven't accomplished anything, or you haven't accomplished everything that you wanted to and whatnot. And I will tell you, like, it really is just a matter of your thinking. Like, you just have to change that. So it wasn't till I met my husband that I started feeling more like, here are the things that I have accomplished. And he was really big at like talking me through that and being like, look, you have adopted not one but two dogs, and you've done this and you've done that. And he was always like really good about that. So it's all about perspective. And so finally, like, I am starting to feel like I've accomplished a lot. But then again, at 33, it's just like, it's just another year. Doesn't make me feel any different. If anybody is watching this that is quite a bit younger, especially like in your early 20s, it's, I will say, everything feels so important then. But when you reach this age, you're just like, wow, everything was so tiny back then. Like the whole world seems so small. So I'm happy to be at my age. Am I'm married. We have two cats and two dogs. We do not have any children. We do not intend on having any children. And yeah, it's one of those things that I have found that by not having kids, I never actually feel like an adult. And I don't know if people with kids feel like an adult because they have to be the adults. I don't ever feel like I have to be an adult, really, which is really nice. Um, and yeah, I guess that's just like a little bit of a blessing in disguise. Sorry, I swear I just saw myself lay that sticker down. Maybe I just moved it up a bit. Okay. I'm not necessarily like looking at my screen because I'm not really going to walk you guys through my whole week. Um, it really wasn't that. Well, I say that and then I take it back because I'm like, last week wasn't busy. It felt insane. Um, really, Monday was nice. I didn't leave the house. We'd been busy like the weekend before, and then I didn't leave the house on Monday, which I was really grateful for. But then Tuesday I had pole class. Wednesday, my mom and I went to a tattoo consultation appointment. And then Thursday, and I was supposed to go to class, but I had a headache, so I didn't go to class, which was graduation. But I'm like, it's fine. I'm going to see them all this week for the beginning of level 2. And I just broke another nail. So I really wasn't that concerned about not going to class for graduation last week. And then Thursday was my birthday, and I hung out with a friend. We did a vision board, but we did like them on our phones. There's an app called Visu app that we used, and she made me listen to this what was it? It's Rachel Hollis's like planning for your future. I don't know what it was. There were these little videos that Rachel Hollis offers. I personally do not care for Rachel Hollis. I have not read her Girl Wash Your Face. I'd read a lot of reviews, and I talked to other people who are like, it's not worth it. Like, this idea of like this kind of self-help, self-motivation, whatever these types of books are. Um, I don't know, I just didn't feel like I would connect with her. Although my husband did say there are studies that show that even if you don't feel any connection to like the writer and what they have to say and their experience and stuff, everybody gets something out of a self-help type of book. And I really want to read like Unfuck Yourself. And we have it. I just have, my husband picked it up. I just haven't actually read it yet. Just to see, but it's never really been my strong suit. Like I've just never cared for those types of books. I've always been a fairly confident individual. So I haven't felt the need for those. And I'm certain I would definitely gain something from them. And it was helpful. Like we watched a little thing because I was saying to her, I was like, I don't have a morning routine. Like one of my goals for the month of January is to create a morning routine. And I'm like, I don't, because there's nobody to answer to for it. Like, I don't have to make sure I get A, B, C, and D done before my kids get up. And then I have to get them to school and then start my day. Like, I don't have to do that. Um, it's hard to then create something. And my friend totally gets it. She's like, I can stay in bed until noon and not feel bad about it. But wanting to be able to get up and get stuff done first thing in the morning. And then it's like, okay, now you can be chill for the rest of the evening. And I wish I did take a morning pole class a couple of sessions ago. And I think it was like at 10. And I found it really hard to go to it. I wish there was like an early afternoon pole class that I could take that I could then, so then I'd have my mornings to not have to get up too crazy early, but, get into my day kind of thing, go to class in the afternoon, and then have the evenings at home. Like, I would love that. I find myself, I do tend to be, once I'm up, I do tend to be a bit more, I get a lot more done in the morning than I do in the afternoon. Usually the afternoon I hit a slump. And I want to nap, but maybe if I'm like forced myself to go out to class, it would feel a little bit differently. And then in the evenings when I do go to class, I'm like, I don't want to. I just want to be home. Like, I don't want to drive. I don't like driving after dark. It's not my favorite thing. I actually switched to a new studio. There's 3 studios. One I was driving to is like the second farthest from me. Um, but now I'm going to one that's just 10 minutes up the road for me. So I'm really excited about that so that I don't have to leave at 5 o'clock to make a 6:15 class because of traffic and everything. So that'll be a nice little perk. But yeah, so we vision boarded with this app, and it's hard because it's like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I'm like, I thought I was vision boarding for like this year, like in kind of doing like a vision board of my 20 for 2020. But she's like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't tend to think that far in the future. It's not my style. I mean, we talk about moving and we talk about moving to a different country, and I would like to move to Canada personally because we could do it real quick. We're right near it. So we could just, it's like a hop, skip, and a jump away. And then if we were in the Toronto area, we're like 6 hours from my family. And that's really nice. As opposed to saying living in Germany. And my husband really wants to move to Germany. He doesn't really care to move to Canada. But I was like, but for now, when his grandparents are getting up there in years, they're in their 70s, and they don't get around that great anyway. And then we have really young nieces and nephews as they're getting older, and I want to be there for them while they're at their age. Once they're teenagers and they've got all their teenager things, I don't give a crap. Then we could say move to Germany. And I'm like, so we can definitely plan for this in 10 years. Say in 10 years we hope to be in Germany. Or in 10 years we're going to start working towards, figuring out what it takes for us to move to Germany. I'm all for it. And it's just funny because you're like, 10 years seems like a really long time. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'll be in my early 40s. But it's like, yeah, you're in your early 40s. And for a lot of people that have had kids and had kids like in their young 20s, 40s is when their life seems to really begin, where they're finally being able to, like, their kids are old enough to do their own thing and they can go do their own thing, like parents and stuff like that. So I'm not that terribly concerned. I know that we'll figure these things out, so I don't like to think too much about the future. That being said, so talking about family and illness and stuff like that. So on Wednesday, my mom and I went and had a consultation for her tattoo and kind of my tattoo. Her and I and my sister are all getting tattoos together. Well, not together, but we're all getting similar tattoos to one another. It'll be my mom's first. It'll be my second. My mom was diagnosed with pulmonary arterial hypertension. I think like we moved back in 2015, so 2016. So it's been almost 4 years since she's been diagnosed with pulmonary arterial hypertension, which is high blood pressure in the lungs and the heart, like in the arteries of the lungs and the heart. It's very rare. As of now, there's no cure for it. There are medications to help slow the processes of it, and they're constantly checking for like blood clots and whatnot in her lungs. And when she was diagnosed, the big thing to take care of was her heart. She had a very enlarged heart because of it. And they needed to get that back down to normal and getting her like blood flowing normally, or like the blood through the rest of her body flowing normally, because it was enlarged because it had to work so much harder to get blood out. So they're like, at this point, she was more likely going to die from a heart attack than she would from pulmonary PAH. I'm just going to say PAH, or pulmonary hypertension. So she's been wanting a tattoo for about a year now. She would like to get a hummingbird. My mom loves watching birds, and she has all kinds of bird feeders around their yard. And she got really into it, especially once she stopped working, so she can like really identify all the birds. She recognizes the ones that are frequent visitors. And one thing she has is a little hummingbird feeder right on the window from where, like right by where she sits in the living room if she's watching TV or doing work or whatever. So hummingbirds have incredible lungs because they never stop moving. And so that to her is like a symbol of very strong, powerful lungs. So she wanted something that was like meaningful to her. So she's going to get a hummingbird tattoo with a script that says "Just breathe." Something very realistic looking. I am more of a minimalist when it comes to my tattoos. There's one tattoo that I want that I'm hoping to plan for hopefully this year. That is not going to be minimalist. It's going to be like pretty big, but this one is just going to, for me, I just want like a single line hummingbird. She and I are going to the same artist. My sister has a different artist that she would like to use. I picked the girl that we're using. She was the third. She was rated like in the top 3. Like she was third of best tattoo artists in the area. And then she was female, and I just wanted to use another like female. I wanted that kind of female empowerment, in a sense. So I was like, this is the person we're going to go with. It is going to be expensive, but it's fine. I think I'm going to probably pay for a part of hers too, along with mine, because mine's going to be so simple. But yeah, I mean, I think that's something really special, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. And then when my sister gets hers, and then the 3 of us will have them. My sister and I have kind of matching tattoos right now. We both have Morse code symbols um, on our wrists. The outside, mine is on the outside of my right wrist. I think hers is on the outside of her left wrist. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because I think on the the inside of her right wrist, she has a little broomstick. I don't remember where hers is. But it's like my brother's first and middle initials, and then and then my sister's first and middle, and then she has my brother's and my first and middle initial. Very minimal. It took like 3 minutes. Boom, boom, done, out. I'm pretty certain the single line hummingbird will be like 5 minutes, maybe 7. Mom's will take long, but even the artist had said maybe like an hour to an hour and a half tops to do hers. So it'll be. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to experience this with her. Especially because she's always been very anti-tattoo, and now for her to get hers, and she is gonna be 60 or 57 this year. Yeah, she turned 57 this year. So yeah, I think it's gonna be like a really special thing for us to experience together. So Thursday on my birthday, I did that vision boarding, and then my husband and I went out for dinner and desserts. And there's this rolled ice cream place that I like to go to. We know them really well. They're like family to us. We love and adore them. They brought out they brought out my ice cream with a candle for me to blow out and saying happy birthday to me. So that was really sweet. Um, and then it was just home to crash. I was exhausted. I feel like I have not been sleeping really great. I don't really know why that is. And then on Friday, I got up and I just finished Road to Jonestown Thursday. When I got home from vision boarding, my husband was still working, so I finished the last hour and 15 minutes of Road to Jonestown, which, I mean, I know how it ended, but it was like, gets so exciting at the end of the book, like leading up to how it ends. And then just like the immediate aftermath of all of it. So, Friday I had book club that night, so I got up and I colored my hair. Um, I have like blonde like balayage in my hair, and I like to get this stuff called Overtone, which is a coloring conditioner. If anybody's used it, it's amazing, and I have it in rose gold for brown for brunette hair. So I was doing that to kind of just add a bit of pink to my hair for something fun for my birthday weekend. I have been wanting to do something really fun with my hair. I've always wanted to do like a fun, different color, and never have because I was always just too chicken shit maybe to do it. I don't know. But I finally decided this year I'm going to go for it. And I think I'm going to do like a dip dye. So it's just like the tips of my hair, but like up to a certain point will get done. And I just can't decide if I want to do like pink or purple. And I feel like those are just the expectations of those. I don't personally like blue, and I don't like I love the color green. I don't want it in my hair. So I feel like it's pink or purple is what I'm going for. But then as a way to keep it up, I can use this overtone to like keep the color bold without it because it'll constantly fade because that's just the way it works. Especially because, and then I'm naturally a dark brunette, so having to have them bleach it and then put that color in. And then instead of having to constantly color to keep it up, I can hopefully use the overtone to keep it up. So I'm so excited to use it when the time comes. I had a hair appointment last week, but the girl who usually does my hair moved out of the state. And so I had an appointment with a new girl who she recommended to me, but I ended up not going because I was like, I'm just not ready to have somebody else do my hair. Like, I've been seeing the same girl for like 3 years, and I just was not ready for somebody else. And I'm like, it's fine. I'll deal with my grays. I can just spray over them. But now I'm like, oh, that was a terrible idea. Saturday was my plans with my friends for my birthday. Um, So it was a pretty chill Saturday morning. I was listening to a couple episodes of the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour, and then I was reading from my book Witch that I have, and then I did a meditation. I did a meditation to find my spirit guide, and there's this recommendation for a guided meditation to do that the girls from Witch Bitch Amateur Hour had suggested, and so I did it, but it didn't really work. I fell asleep. And I'm like, it's probably because I have this idea of what my spirit guides should be or look like. And it was like, you're not ready for this. So we're just, because I can remember like up until exactly a certain point, and then I was out like a light. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to take that as a sign that I'm not ready for this. So I'll try again in like a week or so. And then it was time to get ready for my birthday. We went to dinner. It was snowing so bad here, which has been the problem of most of my life, is that there's always like a massive snowstorm like on or around my birthday, especially like when I'm having plans. Like when I turned 21, we were going to have a house party. My cousin and I and my best friend were renting a condo, or not a condo, a duplex. And we were all supposed, like, everybody was going to come over. Well, the only people willing to brave the storm were a bunch of guys. And I'm like, it's a pajama party because I just want to be cozy in my pajamas. I had like two Kahlua and creams, and that was it. Like, I didn't get drunk on my 21st. Um, so, of course, this happened again this year. It's been a long time since I've had that much snow on my birthday, and the roads were terrible. Just absolutely terrible. I think like by Saturday morning we had probably 6 inches. And then like we went to dinner and it was starting to get a little bad again as it was getting colder out at night and the sun went down. But then when we left, so we went to dinner and then we went axe throwing, which was so much fun. But when we left axe throwing, it was awful out. It was just so terrible. The roads were so bad. We had probably gotten like another 2 or 3 inches of snow just in the hour that we were throwing axes. It was absolutely insane. So we had to take it easy, and we get all the way home, and I was like, I kind of wish I told you to stop at the grocery store because I really want something sweet. And he's like, well, do you want to go to the store, my husband? And I'm like, really? I figured you wouldn't be okay with going because the roads are bad and you just want to get home. He's like, well, we're standing here outside of the car. Just get back in and let's run to the store. And we just live like 2 minutes from the store, so it was fine. But I was just like, I just figured we wouldn't want to be in like on the road any more than we usually are. We have a rear wheel drive car, and we were using that because when it comes to especially being icy, I'd rather be in my smaller car than the bigger vehicle, because the bigger car with 4-wheel drive isn't gonna help me any more on ice than a rear wheel car will. So yeah. What's going on here? So yeah, we did go. We got I got some ice cream and whatnot. And then we just went back home. And then on Sunday was a pretty uneventful day in that we had a visitation to go to. So I used this skull sticker from Sticky Sloth Designs. Might seem a little bit of the macabre, but that's kind of my style. I'm like, dead person visitation, skull, dead person visitation. So we went to the visitation and the showing, which was very uncomfortable because dead bodies freak me out. So I just spent a lot of time just staring at a wall. And anytime anybody tried to get me to go near the casket, I had to make my husband be sure he was standing in between us. And I know it seems like an irrational fear, but it's just a fear that I have. It's not like a fear. I'm just very uncomfortable around them. So yeah, that was more or less my week and a little bit about myself that I wanted to share. My fucking hooray was that I had a great birthday weekend. So I'm going to go back into live here, and I will talk to you soon. All right, guys, that is all I have for you guys this week. We'll throw in here my fucking hooray for the week was that I had a great birthday weekend. I do feel like at this point in my life, it doesn't really matter. Age doesn't really matter these days, it feels like. Maybe that will change in a few years, but as of right now, you know, I'm happy to just be happy. So I hope everybody had a wonderful week. I hope you all have an outstanding week of January the 20th, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.